Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another Facebook Live, the Doctor's In podcast. And we appreciate you guys coming on with us. Our dear friends, we'll say hello to a few before we get started with Q&A. Q&A Friday, which is always a lot of fun. Mike, hi, how are you? From Norland, Andrea, Niagara Falls, Sandy from Fergus Falls, Minnesota. John, how are you? And Nativity, good morning. And Eric, salut. And Bonnie, how are you this morning? And Doc McEwen from West Tennessee, how are you? Rosalinda from Niagara Falls, Lorraine, good morning. British Columbia, Rita from Wasaga. April, good morning. And Nick from our staff, good morning to ya. Cheryl, West Virginia, oh, I would sing if I could. Fran, Orangeville. Kevin, Oshawa, good morning. Sandy, good morning. And Etta. And Wanda from Ridgeway, Ontario. We love you. How are you? Maria, Ottawa. Diane from Thunder Bay. Petawawa, Yvonne. Marlis, Missouri. And who was that? Millicup from Stouffville? Marianne, London. Snow again. And there's Gertie. And Allison, who was that? Norma, Texas. Muriel, Hurst. Bonjour. Chaz, how are you? Donna, how are you? Or Donna saying hello to Elaine. Manitoulin Island, who was that? Bonnie, I think. Lori. And Linda, Alberta. Donna from Park Hill. Linda, New Brunswick. Couple of more. Wendy, London, Ontario. Carol from Mount Pearl, Newfoundland. Donna, good morning from Stouffville. Dorothy, how are you? Tina, cheering for the Detroit Lions. Lori, Cambridge. Lorraine, I'm a Steeler fan. That's where I'm wearing the black. Patricia, Chantal, Sudbury. And Elaine, good morning. Okay, let's get going. We got a lot of questions. Robin, Connecticut, nice to have you on. Noeline is asking a very good question about testosterone and prostate cancer, okay? And it's all about her brother, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but she's asking really, look, oncologists believe that testosterone is a culprit in prostate cancer. I understand why they say it, because testosterone is a growth hormone. But respectfully, I disagree. Okay? When men get prostate cancer, it's not because they have too much testosterone. As a matter of fact, they don't have enough testosterone. Generally, that's what happens, okay? And that, when I used to test hormones, men had low levels of testosterone. They would get benign hyperplasia, which is the growth of the prostate. And if it became cancerous, they didn't have enough testosterone, in my opinion. Now, for years, they've talked about blocking testosterone in men once they get the cancer. Look, I'm not telling oncologists what to do. I mean, that's what they do. I disagree, that's all. I just tell people, I see it another way. The problem in men, when men get prostate cancer, is because they got not enough testosterone. I'm not saying give them testosterone, but I'm certainly not saying block testosterone. I think they would do much better if they blocked estrogen in men. We got a whole generation now of as Arnold Schwarzenegger used to say, girly men. Men today have so little testosterone. Their sperm levels are going down. Testosterone is going down. And you know what's going up? Estrogen, the womanly hormone. Nice to have estrogen if you're a woman. And I've made this case for a lot of years, guys, and you know that. There's too much estrogen in the world, or things that mimic estrogen, which are xenoestrogens. They're everywhere. They're in our homes, they're in the air, they're in the water we drink. Plastic is everywhere. Chemicals are everywhere. That drives up estrogen. Why do we see more prostate cancer than ever? Well, it's not because testosterone rates are going up, because they're not. They're going down. That's a guaranteed true statement. Testosterone levels are going way down in men. So, Noeline, if you're asking my opinion, I don't like testosterone blocking therapy. For me, I don't. Okay? And again, your brother's got to do what he's got to do. If you're asking my opinion, you're going to get a very opinionated opinion. But I think I can back it up. And I never tell people what to do. I give out information. Okay. I would block the estrogen. I would have them dimming that out. Why do you think I love flax seeds so much? Because flax seeds contain DIM. And it blocks estrogen. Okay. Thank you very much, Noeline, for a very good question. Helen. Her husband has polyps in his gallbladder. Lots of them. And the doctor's recommending removing the gallbladder to prevent them from becoming cancerous, and potentially moving to his liver. He does have type 2 diabetes, and his A1C is very high. That's way too high, by the way. Okay. But he's been eating EMC, eggs, meat, and cheese, so good for him, and digestive enzymes. Okay, so the only thing I can think of is he should not snack in the evening. He tried to make sure, okay, so what was the question now? Okay, how do you prevent them from becoming cancerous? Okay, gallbladder, okay? Why do you have a gallbladder? It's a little pouch. It's a little reservoir. For what? Bile. Why do you need bile? Well, for a couple of things. Bile is like dish soap. It picks up the fat. It picks up the grease, right? You got dish soap that's, not only cleans, but absorbs grease, right? Okay? So that's what bile is like, okay? It emulsifies fat. And then secondly, it's really important to, okay, as food comes out of your stomach, it's very, very acidic. So bile, it alkalizes the food. Remember, you need acidity in your stomach. Somebody's asking a question, I noticed, and we'll touch that in a minute, on stomach acidity. But getting to your question, Helen, okay, how do you prevent polyps from turning cancerous? Well, I'm big on anything that, why he would have got polyps in the first place is because, well, you already told me he's diabetic. What does that mean? Well, you got high insulin, right? And over years, because diabetes is the last thing that happens in the body, not the first, it's the last thing. So for years and years and years, your husband had high insulin. That insulin is a growth hormone. Get that down, which he's doing by the EMC, and they're going to watch him before taking out his gallbladder. I think that if he really is super careful, get insulin down because it's a growth hormone. You know what another growth hormone is? Talked about it a minute ago. Estrogen. Block the estrogen. Get him on some flax seeds, okay? And one day our hormonal formula is coming back. Block it. Okay, block that estrogen, okay? And ladies, now you can block estrogen with our menopausal formula because we put DIM in there too. Any extra estrogen, look, you need estrogen. Ladies, you need estrogen, but you don't want it to be dominant compared to your progesterone. Okay, thank you for the question. We appreciate it, Helen. Drew, I recently had his vitamin D tested and it's high. Well, if it's high, okay, usually there's a reason for it, okay? High vitamin D is usually, I talked about this a few days ago. Here are some reasons for high vitamin D. Let me see, I got them written down here, okay? Let me see if I can find it. Why do you have high vitamin D? I got notes and no, let me not go look for, I know one thing. You can have high vitamin D if you're on medications, blood pressure medications, diuretics. So I don't know, Drew, if you're on any of those medications, that can, you can have high vitamin D levels. Now, having high vitamin D levels, what does that mean? Okay? I'm not too worried about it. But Drew, if your vitamin D levels are high, then you can stop for about a month taking vitamin D as a supplement. You don't need it right now. But there's always reasons that you get high vitamin D. Most people, by the way, 90% of the population have low levels of vitamin D, okay? So you can take a break, Drew. Thanks for the question. Francis, can you tell me what Dr. Martin thinks about iridologists? Well, iridologists are practitioners that look into your eyes with a special scope to look in your eyes, okay? Not like an ophthalmologist uses. An iridologist is looking into the eye with a special. I liked it. I took a course in iridology. I don't like it on its own. Okay, so when someone, that's all they do, and then they can tell you everything in the world from warts on your nose to pimples on your toes when they look in the back of your eye. Nah, I never taught that. And I used to do a lot of teaching for natural medicine, okay? I still do. And I like iridology. I think it's a great tool, okay? I used to love doing live blood analysis, okay? The problem is, and I used to teach this, okay? And my staff knows this, and many, many practitioners over the years that I've trained, with live blood, for example, it's a tool. It's a good tool. But when people see everything, every disease, every condition, everything on live blood, they're making stuff up. You know? But it's a good tool in your toolbox. That's what I used to tell practitioners. It's a tool in your toolbox. The iridology is a tool in your toolbox. But it's not the only thing. And I love, you guys know this, I love traditional blood tests. If you're looking at them the right way, I love blood work. I love urinalysis. I do. It's tools. The more tools you have, the better it is. And that's one of the problems in modern medicine today. They got hijacked by the labs and they only rely on labs. Labs are good. Labs are very good, but they're not everything. So, you see what I'm saying? Okay, I hope you get the memo. Okay, good question. Thank you for it. And that was Francis. Billy. My best friend has been on the depot shot off and on for 20 years, and that's bone building shot, okay? What do I think of those? Not much. I never liked them, okay? I never liked them. I preached against those things for probably 30, 40 years. I never liked them because they don't work very well, okay? And I told her to get a bone density test, which she should have, okay? What he's saying is that, let me talk about the bone density first, okay? Let me talk about bone density because I'm mixing this up, okay? The bone density test is a good test to get done, okay? And what he's saying there, this is a hormonal thing, the depot. Okay, it's like it's part of hormonal therapy. I was just sort of in my head talking about when you take a drug or a shot for increasing your bone. Okay, now, guys, this is really important when it comes to bone quality. Okay, because people. Like, what's a better thing to do for bone quality is to eat calcium. Don't take it as a supplement, eat it. This one of the reasons I love eggs, meat, and cheese, and I talk about it all the time. You build bone. Why? Because you're eating calcium plus K2. K2. Okay? Plus K2. Now, if you're taking hormonal therapy, a lot of times that can lead to bone loss, okay? And what do? Eggs, meat, and cheese. Better to eat those things than to take even a supplement. I love vitamin D for building bone because that's what it does. Take vitamin D. If you're taking it with a supplement, take it with vitamin K2. Okay? Take it with vitamin K2. And get to a gym or get strong. Like, you don't have to go to a gym to get strong, but you need bone building. When you build muscle, you build bone. Because muscle anchors in to those bones. And the bones have to get stronger. If your muscles are strong, your bones have no choice but to build bone, to anchor muscles. Muscles anchor bone, and bone anchors muscles. That's why we love, on a multitude of reasons, why we love getting strong. Get strong. Don't get sarcopenia. Where you lose muscle, you lose bone. Okay? So get strong. Okay. Thank you for the question. And that was, I think that was Drew, right? Hold on. Let me get back here. Drew. No, that wasn't Drew. That was Billy. Okay. Thanks, Billy. Louise. Okay, this is a good question. Why on your bottle of curcumin, Dr. Martin? In case of excess stomach acid, I thought you wanted lots of... See, Louise thinks she's going to trick me. Louise thinks I made a mistake on the labels of curcumin. But Louise, it's not me. It's the government. They put rules on labeling in Canada, and they're very strict. You have no choice, and they're not always right. Okay? But when they say, Louise, excess stomach acid, you know what they mean by that? I'll tell you what the government means. They think excess stomach acid, but they're not talking about your stomach. They're talking about your esophagus. If you have acid, what they should have said is if you have acid reflux. But they call that excess stomach acid. Well, you and I know, Louise, that really that's not true. Because your stomach, whenever you get acid reflux, you don't have enough acidity in your stomach, and your stomach, the proton pumps have to make more of it. And it escapes up the esophagus. Okay? And when you eat the wrong foods, when you are a carboholic, especially sugar, you're changing the pH of your stomach, and you're going to have lots of trouble with your stomach. But what you read there, Louise, is rules of labeling. We have no choice but to write that down the way they want it written down, not what we got to say. It's the rules in Canada. And guess what, guys? In Canada, unless it changes, going to get worse. Going to get worse. There's a war on natural products from politicians, and I'm just going to say it, from politicians are not really worried about protecting you. They're bought and paid for by the pharmaceutical industry. I'll tell you that 100%. And that's why they're attacking the natural product industry in Canada, which is the most regulated industry in Canada is the natural product industry. Already. It's already regulated. Okay? And big time. And now if they could, there's politicians that would eliminate it. Your ability to get a vitamin without a prescription. And I'm telling you, they're bought and paid for. I hate to say it, but it's true. Okay. That was a little bit of me letting off some steam. Okay, Brenda. No, that was Louise. Brenda, why do I keep getting boils? Well, you gave me a little bit of information because you said I am immune compromised due to chemo. Well, Brenda, I think you got your answer. Look, boils, whenever someone is getting boils, what you see on the outside is happening on the inside. Okay? What you see on the outside is happening on the inside. And I always say it's leaky gut, leaky skin. You're immune compromised, yes. And the other thing, Brenda, is you got leaky gut, guaranteed. Probably due to the chemo. What do you need to do? Probiotics. And big time. Bone broth, I recommend. Heal the gut. Heal the gut, heal the skin. Whenever you see stuff on the skin, look back to the gut originally, because that's usually where it starts. Thank you for the question, Brenda. We appreciate it. Mary, I woke up with a bruised eye. Who punched you? Mary, who was sleeping beside you? Okay, now that I got the joking out of the way, okay, you can wake up with a bruised eye, and you know why? You probably, if it's in the eyelid there, you probably busted some blood vessels. Okay? They're usually busted blood vessels. It's not dangerous, but if no one poked you or punched you, that's usually what it is. Now, if that occurred all the time, you have weakness within your capillaries and blood supply. That's why I love pine bark extract, Navitol. And, yep, that's what I would do. Mary, thanks for the question. Sheldon, how young can you start an infant on probiotic? Well, very young. It's bacteria. Even a baby's got trillions of bacteria. So all you're doing is introducing good bacteria to a baby. Now, you're not, the best way to do this is mommy is taking a probiotic, and then she's breastfeeding. Okay? Best way to get that good bacteria. You see, in our modern medicine day today, I mean, there's some wonderful things with modern medicine, right? But one of the problems is right from birth, going down the birth canal, that doesn't happen when they do C-sections. C-sections, look, it can save a baby's life, and I get that, but they do it far too often, and there's huge benefits for baby going down that canal. Gets mummy's bacteria, gets mummy's microbiome, okay? And that's good for baby, big time. But babies can, if you can, like I want mommy to add the probiotics. Now, if baby is getting formula, I would add some probiotic to the formula. Okay? It's not ideal because, breastfeeding is much better for a baby. Everybody knows that. It's funny, isn't it? That in the 1950s and the 1960s, medicine isn't often right. You know that? Because what did they want to do? Well, they invented formula, and they said, well, this is better than breast milk. And that went on. I'm old enough to be able to tell you this. That went on for about 10, maybe 15 years. And they were absolutely wrong. Well, you got fortified baby formula. Yeah, with corn syrup. And I mean, it was ridiculous. As if anything's better than mommy's breast, for heaven's sakes. Anyway. Now it's not even in dispute. I mean, nobody would even, there ain't a doctor in the universe would dispute that anymore, but it used to be. Anyway, just to show you, okay? When they say the science is settled, whenever you hear that, the science is settled. Run, Forrest, run. Science is never settled. That's what makes science. You're always discovering new things. You're always looking at new things. You're always investigating. The science, was settled. No, it wasn't. Back to mummy's milk. Anyway, good question. Thank you. Couple of more here, guys. That was Sheldon. Evelyn, what's Dr. Martin's opinion of DMSO I won't even pronounce it. Well, look, and topically you use it, and it was supposed to cure everything from coughs, colds to cancer. No. Okay. I remember that stuff coming. It was big. You know what? You guys know me because just about every Friday, I say this. DMSO had its day in the sun. Everybody, I'm talking, go back longer than that, 20 years ago, maybe 25. I had a radio show talking about everybody, once on the call-in show, Dr. Martin, what about DMSO? Like, should I take it? Should I butter myself up with it every day? It cures everything, doesn't it? And no. And then it faded away. I hardly ever hear anybody even talking about it anymore. Is it any good? I don't know. It had its day in the sun, and I don't know. People wanted me to use it in my practice, and I wasn't convinced. I didn't read about enough results, and I didn't have enough patients coming into me and saying, look, this is the best thing since sliced bread. It had its day in the sun. Okay. Maryland, cherry angiomas. I get them all the time, and all over, they won't go away. Well, Maryland, you got to look at, I'm going back, what you see on the skin and just underneath the skin, the angiomas, usually gut related. There's some genetics probably involved too. And, I'm big on fix the gut, fix microcirculation, and, I love probiotics, Navitol. I don't know, Maryland, sometimes for some people, they just don't go away. Shelley, is it possible to go too high for HDL and LDL, even with low triglycerides? Well, look, no, yes, and no. Okay, so let me answer that way. Yes, it's better to have, personally, my experience is if your triglycerides are here, I like your HDL to be, up to 2.5 times higher. But even if it's 1-to-1, it's still good. Okay? Some people, some gurus, my colleagues, they like 1-to-1. I like a little higher HDL than your triglycerides. If it's way high HDL and your triglycerides are still low, you're still good. The key is your triglycerides, and you want your HDL to be higher. Too high, what does it mean? Not much. Not much. Because guys, you know me. I never blamed cholesterol for heart disease. Well, I do, if it's too low. It's only bad when it's low. And I include LDL in that. You want to die young? Oh, I got my cholesterol down. Okay, good for you. You'll impress your doctor, but you're going to die young. That's a fact. Don't aim for low cholesterol at any time, in my opinion. Now, I want you to aim for low triglycerides. Okay? I want you to aim for low triglycerides. Really important. Get your triglycerides down and your cholesterol up. And there ain't no bad cholesterol on this program. Okay? I'm sorry. I just never, I don't agree with that theory at all. And the longer we're away or down the road we're actually studying cholesterol, the more it's proven that I'm right about that. And guys, I've been saying it for almost 50 years. How could cholesterol be at the root of heart disease when your whole body needs cholesterol? God don't trust you. 85% of it he makes. You're only to provide 15%. Your body can't live without cholesterol. Anyway, I know I get sidetracked and I get going. Okay. I think we're going to have to do, we're going to have to do 2 sessions on this. Okay, 2 people are asking. Annette, let me finish with this one here today. 2 people are asking about this, and then Annette and Bonnie. Soursop. Did I say it right? I guess it's getting its day in the sun. Soursop is good for you. Well, it's all right. I have no problem with people that they want to take soursop. Am I saying it right? I haven't heard that term in quite a while. I never thought much. I mean, guys, you know me, and I'm going to say it again. I always compare. Okay? So when soursop has all these health benefits, and then I put it up against pine bark. I put it up against curcumin. I put it up against high DHA oil. It don't win the battle. It don't win the war. It doesn't win prizes, in my opinion. If you want to take it, I got no problem with it. I just don't think it's all that it's cracked up to be in terms of results. Guys, again, I was in practice. I had to get results. And you name it, I tried it. Okay? You name it, I tried it. And especially in my radio show days, because everybody and their dog wanted me to promote products. I had new products come across my desk every week. Doc, would you promote this? Well, let's see. Okay, and I'm not dismissing things. I'm not saying they're no good. And I always do this. It's good, it's better, or it's best. That's me, the way I operate. So when you ask me, I'm always going to compare it to what I know, to what I know works. Okay? What I know works. And maybe probably won't happen on Monday, but Monday or probably Tuesday. They showed 40 randomized. One thing about pine bark extract, there's nothing in the natural realm, maybe vitamin D, but probably close, that's been more studied in terms of a supplement. Even more than vitamin C is pine bark. And you should see the studies. But guys, I knew it clinically in my office. I saw the results. And that's why it was always my go-to when it comes to antioxidants or anti-inflammatory or whatever, right? I just loved it as a poly pill type of thing because it did so many things. Okay. We'll do the rest on Monday, guys. Okay. So thank you for all those questions. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate it. Guys, we wouldn't have a show if it wasn't for you. Okay? We wouldn't have a show if it wasn't for you. Thank you to the almost 90,000. We're getting there to 90,000 Facebook followers. Thank you for that. That's you guys. And we thank our podcast listeners. Downloads are close to 5 million now. And guys, again, that's you. What would we do without you? Not much. Okay, guys, we love you. We'll talk to you soon.